Okay, let's not touch the pen. This is take three. I'm trying to tell you guys something, and equipment's not fully cooperating. So, hi. Remember me? I'm SB. Been thinking about you guys. Been thinking about all my internet buddies, social media buddies, YouTube fans, and cohorts, peers. Been thinking about you. I feel like I owe you more information. I owe you apologies, I'm sorry's, explanations. Feel like I'm supposed to create a lot more content, post a lot more updates, and really all that's not true. I guess I really don't owe anybody anything. I feel like there's been a lot of crazy shit going on. They're bringing out the big guns for 2020. Everything's turning weird. We got coronavirus and impeachment nonsense and election nonsense and QAnon nonsense, and then on and on and on it goes. And on top of that, we've got health problems in the elderly in our family. Some people are getting terminal diagnoses, and I ask for your prayers, your support in that. We've got more than one elderly person in our family. It's taken extra time and energy for us to focus on that, and we have our own illnesses, and so I miss you guys. I miss whatever vibe we used to have, but I don't regret focusing on my own stuff. But that's not the reason I decided to push play. The reason I decided to push record, is because I have an interesting story for you, and hopefully this third take will work. And I want to sneak over here and make sure that this thing's still recording, because I really don't want to do 4 takes. 3 should be enough. But the story goes like this. So, despite all the hullabaloo in the world, this weekend in Walla Walla, Washington, it snowed twice. We got 2 or 3 inches 2 days in a row, and it's mostly melted off. But this morning I got up early before 7. My little dog seemed a little antsy, my little princely pug named Baja. And so I put on some warm clothes and took Baja for a walk down to the park with the ball and some treats in my pocket. And we went down there, and he didn't really want to run and play in the snow. And as I was walking, I was listening to Robert Farrell play. He's reading from a text I'd never heard of, the Apocalypse of Abraham, and it's telling the story. As I'm walking the dog, I'm hearing about Abraham, how Abraham's father was an idolater, making idols and selling idols, and how Abraham really didn't think much of it, and one of the idols fell in the fire and he thought it was funny, and how he was having to go out and hawk idols for his dad, and he didn't like it, and so instead he rejected that and said there's got to be something better than this. And then the one true God comes to talk to him and tells him all this stuff and shows him all these amazing things, and it's well worth listening to, probably well worth reading. I'd never heard of it. There's so many apocryphal and extra canonical and what they call pseudepigraphal texts, and I definitely am a person who believes these things have tremendous import, that they should not have been left out. But I digress. So I'm walking the little dog. He doesn't really want to catch his ball in the snow because he's got princely paws and a sensitive mouth, and so he kind of nudges it around if I throw it, and doesn't really run after it, won't bring it back. And so I give up and I just keep walking. And on the second to last turn down the road towards home, I get this vibe, this feeling, because I've been thinking about Tracy Twyman, and I got this feeling like she was around. I could feel I just had that feeling like Tracy's around. And I don't get it a whole bunch, but she did appear to me in a dream after she passed away, and there are reports of other people having dreams and visions. Maybe talk about that more in another video or at the end of this one. But so I smiled and thought, okay, cool. Well, if you're around, if you want to drop me some kind of a little hint or a omen that it's definitely you, I feel something. If you want to confirm or show me more, I'm open to it. What's up? And so I push the little button on my headphones. I keep listening, and I keep walking, and all of a sudden a crow flies down near me. Not real close, but flies down where I can see it, and it's got a twig in its mouth. like, okay, that's a trip. And so I didn't really put two and two together. And the crow landed on a pole right in front of me, and I'm looking up at it. And then it like clicked, like, oh my God, like a crow with a branch in its mouth, right? Like, wow, that's a sign. That seems like a sign, doesn't it? You know, like the psychopomp, the messenger creature, maybe like Loki or Mercury, or like, okay, maybe this is Tracy. Maybe this is a message from Tracy or something. And so I said hello, and the crow literally started cawing right at me, and then flew to a further telephone pole and continued to caw right at me. So I stood in the middle of the street with my dog and said, hey, if it's really you, I'm going this way. If you want to fly across the highway and meet me a little further down, I'll talk to you more further down the road, you know, kind of like testing the whole theory out. And so it's not just a coincidence. And so I pushed the button again and kept listening, and I kept walking my dog, and he pooped on the rocks, and I didn't have a bag to clean it up. And I had this feeling to go one street farther than I usually do, which is kind of farther away, and then backtracking. But I did that, you know, I followed the intuition, like I felt like I was on a little micro hero's journey or something. And once again, I got distracted by the like angels with 6 wings on each side, and how angels are almost fighting with each other, and Abraham and his guiding angel are having to argue with him and tell him to mind their manners and teach them a new song to sing so they don't fight, and all this weird stuff in that apocryphal book that Robert Farrell was reading. And you can find him Apocryphal 1970 on YouTube if you're curious. It's really influenced my life, the works of Robert Farrell, many of you know. But so I get a little farther down, and no kidding, this crow swoops down where I catch it in the field of vision. Like I wasn't thinking about it again, kind of letting it go, right? And I see it, and I look up, okay, and here's the crow again, like standing once again on top of a telephone pole. And it's cawing right at me. And so I stopped and said hello and offered it greetings, and said, hey, I hope you're doing okay. You can follow me home if you want, and I'll feed you there every day. If you want to come live with me, you're welcome. And I threw one little piece of dog treat I had behind me where the dog wouldn't see it, and left it behind for the crow, and kept walking. And I thought that was just crazy, like well worth finally getting over my procrastination and overthinking and pushing the button. And I guess here on the third take, that brings me to the idea that like I had preliminarily planned and requested and got confirmation from Miguel Connor at Aeon Bite Gnostic Radio that he would be interested to do a memorial Tracy Twyman, like memorial covering all the bases, kind of update and memorial remembrance stream for Tracy on April 1st. And I think we could still do that, I guess. I feel like with all of the craziness in the world, with alleged pandemics and other bullshit and economies crashing, that everyone seems pretty freaked out and upset. And like I said, we have a lot of health problems going on in the elderly in our family, so that's sucking up a lot of our time. So it's been 2 weeks since I first asked Miguel, and I really don't feel very prepared. So maybe I'll share this to him and see what he thinks. Please like this and share it around, and comment on the video, or if you're in the Discord, or if you got me on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, you want to send me an email. Let me know what you think. Is April 1st still a good date? You know, that was just my original idea, because the Flat Earth debate I did before Picture Show ever started was on April 1st. I believe April 1st is closer to the true, genuine beginning of a yearly cycle. In the book Genuflect by Tracy Twyman, April Fool's Day has a terrific significance. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. So let me know what you think. I'm glad to talk to y'all. Quick update on if you're afraid of the virus stuff, if you're freaked out, if you're out here buying toilet paper and hand sanitizer, or you're just seeing all the people that are, and you're worried that you might actually catch some kind of virus that's going to make you sick, I highly recommend looking at dry fasting, transitioning yourself over to what I call whole foods, plant-based diet. If you're really sick, I would recommend going to like an 80% raw diet, and look up herbs and herbal tinctures you can use to encourage what we call the organs and the pathways of elimination to open up, so you can filter and get your kidneys working, get your body sweating, get all of your organs working to actually process the things out that might be in. The that's the best solution if you're worried about that stuff. But I digress. I'm going to push the little button on the pen here. I'm actually going to sneak around and look at the other side of the screen and make sure. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to grab this thing and make sure it's still recording. Thanks so much, folks. Okay, bye.